Winners and losers from the NFL draft. Best Ball Mania 2 champion Chesley Murphy is going to give you all the answers to the test. Let's have some fun.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer.
All right, folks. We are here. Best Ball Mania has begun. Liam is 17 drafts in to Best Ball Mania. I think I'm 7 in. I've been knocking out some puppies and schnauzers. I always like to max the first puppy and max the first like small little contest that they have going, because I just want to stock up the entries. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, Underdog came ready, and the more I think about this Eliminator contest, I really, really like it. It's just like the concept of this head-to-head. That's what it is, right? It's 50% advance out of your first group, and that's head-to-head all the way through. Like, that's so fun. I was trying to think, like, what if drafters just went to this to keep people engaged? But I guess, like, mathematically, probably like 90% of us are eliminated by week 7, so it's like,
right.
But those are super fun. I can't wait I didn't do any of those last year. The draft, man, I mean, to me, what I feel was being told to me by the people who watch college ball and everything. Oh, this year's rookie class of running backs, it's going to dust all the vets. It's going to dust all the vets. Some of the biggest losers, I think, were the rookie running backs. Now, just because a guy goes in the 7th round, goes in the 6th round, doesn't mean they can't give us a fantasy season, but certainly not what we were hoping for. And it's possible that all this talent pushed these guys down a couple more rounds. I'm a little skeptical on that, but like your Devin Neals, your Brashard Smiths, your Damian Martinez's, there's infinite of these guys who I feel were like major losers. Alec Imanor going in the 4th round. Like, this is not good, folks. This guy's getting regularly 100% drafted. Even Kyle Williams, man, like top of the 3rd round. Okay, maybe he's just the wide receiver too. That's how he's being drafted, but I would not chalk that up as like a huge screaming win as far as like what we know right now. Yes, Kyle Williams is going to be a strong fantasy asset, right? Like, this was Javon Baker last year. This was Jalen Polk last year. And maybe those guys year 2 are just professionals. So I don't know. What are you thinking about what I'm saying here?
Well, I mean, I think probably the interesting thing is that we saw a bunch of running backs that we liked go to teams that didn't have a real need, and then teams that we thought had a real need neglected the position. The Cowboys, not taking a running back until day 3. The Commanders not taking a running back until round 7. But then the Rams, who spent a 3rd round pick on Corum last year, snap off Jarquez Hunter, right?
The craziest one to me is the Bears had 10 draft picks.
Yes.
If you had told me that personally, the Commanders had 5 draft picks. So like, I kind of thought that like we didn't have to dodge that much there. Like, I thought that it was kind of overblown for them, similar to the Vikings. But the Bears had 10 draft picks, and they decided, like, this is a huge vote in confidence currently for DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson, who, like, people, like, I mean, is this just Gibbs and David Montgomery? Like, what kind of feels, and Isaiah Pacheco as well, like, so many of these guys who we thought were dead are the hugest winners. And, okay, maybe J.K. Dobbins lands somewhere. Maybe Nick Chubb, who's, like, posting daily workout vids, lands somewhere. But only one team can sign each of these players, so like they can't land everywhere. And it feels like people still think there's like dominoes left to fall. Of course, we could get a midseason trade deadline. Like the Jets stink, ship out Brees Hall. The Dolphins stink, ship out Achan.
Yeah.
Something like this. But I mean, currently with what we know, like a lot of the rookies are losers. A lot of the veterans are winners.
I think there were some clear, obvious rookie running back winners, though. So, like, if you had a big Jarquez Hunter bag, I think that is a win. If you had a big Jaden Blue bag, I think that is a win. If you had a
Both
big,
those guys were barely being drafted. To be fair,
not Jaden Blue. I like 15% of Jaden Blue in the big board, but Damian Martinez, huge loser. Think he is barely draftable. You want to know who I think the biggest winner from I wasn't really considering him in the big board to I think I would elevate him to just like a real target is Roshan.
yeah, I
Because
had him ranked high pre-draft, and I just kind of like left. I was like, well, okay, maybe someone's gonna land there. If they ship out Swift, he's still on the team. Like, I mean, with what we know today, he is the RB2 of the Bears, and we don't we don't know what that split is going to look like. That could be closer to a 50-50 split. So it's like pairing Swift and Roshan super appealing.
I mean, the issue is Roshan's just not very good. So like that is a real limiting factor. So
7
like
touchdowns last year.
I could see Kyle Monangai like actually getting into a role on that team. I mean, I could see the Bears being a trade destination. I could see them being the J.K. Dobbins team. But I mean, I think the comment, like the way to view Roshan is like 25-year-old Samaj P. Ryan. Like he can play some third downs. He can do some goal line stuff. You know, but Swift, I moved Swift and Brian Robinson Jr. up a ton
Me too.
in my rankings.
And
Like,
Eckler, man. Like,
yeah,
okay,
and Eckler.
like a 7th round rookie lands there that people are excited about, but like, I mean, like guys, the Pachecos of the world, even a Damian Pierce rookie season, like it's kind of rare to get, like just think of the guys last year. Blake Corum, no. Trey Benson, no. Like these guys got more draft capital than a lot of the rookies this year. I think Jaleel and Audric Estime are interesting. I went back and like reviewed their end of the year splits. Jaleel was getting the ball a lot. Estime was until the playoffs. Like how people are acting there is RJ Harvey is just going to be the best player in fantasy football at times, like
Right.
going in the 40s, going in the 50s. There's a real possibility one of those two guys is getting a lot of work.
Well, I mean, Jaleel is going to play a lot of snaps. The issue is he's just not very good. And he gets like, weirdly, you would think a guy of his size would get high value touches, but the way that Sean Payton has used him is he gives him low value touches. Jaleel trots out there on 2nd and 6 to run off. It does not make any sense how, and it's because Jaleel is not a good pass blocker. So he can't really play. I mean, he's too small to play third downs. That's why I liked Estime so much last year. Was he's big? He played on third downs in college. He did not play on third downs as a pass catcher like at all. But if Audric Estime leads the Broncos in carries over RJ Harvey, like I'm not like clutching my pearls. I think it's totally possible.
Yeah, like that's why I think a lot of people misunderstood as best. Like people are excited. Like my ranks, the first initial like set of my ranks was not meant to set the players exactly at where I think they're going to end up in August. Like that's like I had a ranking of RJ Harvey at 80 because that's where I want to get him. Like on launch day, I don't want to be paying 65 where I think he honestly is going to slot in August, right? Like, why would you be doing that right now? That's not the goal of drafting early. Like I saw RJ Harvey go 93. That's a win for draft day, right? Like that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get these guys like a round or two before other people are going to do it. Same thing with Travis Hunter. Like I think he's going to close as a 3-4, positive news, maybe even a 2-3. The mission is not draft Travis Hunter before everyone in the lobby right now. Like you're trying to build super teams at ADP that cannot be replicated later, not build the teams that are going to be replicated later today, right? Like that's not what we're trying to do. Conversely, I think while the running back feels a lot better later in the draft, a lot of the wide receivers feel dead now, where it's like Romeo Doubs and Wicks, Quentin Johnston, right? So it's like all of a sudden you're looking at this tier of like, okay, Josh Palmer, Wicks, Dobbs, Quentin Johnston, Cedric Tillman, even with back from the dead landing there, Deontay Johnson, who I mean could be cut. I don't know. It's like wide receiver after that, like Jaden Higgins,
wide receiver ends at Matthew Golden at pick 44 to me. I like to have 4 there. You could argue for Shakir, you could argue for Ayuk, but Igbuka, huge loser.
Well, Downs is a loser.
Downs for sure is a loser. I also think that
Mooney is like one of the only winners left there.
Yeah, Mooney is a winner. Kirk, one of the absolute biggest losers, like a below replacement level guy who got traded for a 7th round pick, who now has to compete with a 2nd and a 3rd round rookie, was never going to be the alpha on his team. They play more 12 personnel than base. Like that offense likes to play 12 personnel.
Here's what I would say about the Texans and rooms like this is like, yes, from like a from like a feeling warm and fuzzy feeling, Kirk's a loser. How I actually want to draft it is I want to draft Kirk here. I want to draft Higgins here. I want to draft Noel very occasionally. I don't really want to be drafting these Jalen Royals of the world right now. These Alec Imanors, like folks, these guys went and I think Kyle Williams and Jack Beck rankings are pretty aggressive. I know you're a Jack Beck guy, but like we're talking about a dude who is capped as the 3rd pass catcher in his offense at best. And maybe
I think he could definitely from week 9 to week 17 get more targets than Jacoby Myers if he's good.
Not absolutely, if he's good. Unless this guy is an absolute star, to like a baseline to assume that he would draw targets at the level that Jacoby Myers does is like really insane. And I don't even think that's how he wins. He like wins downfield, right? Like so.
No, he
and
was,
the other thing is
he was originally a tight end. He could do. In fact, Jacoby Myers was actually a comp that people.
But to straight up dust Jacoby Myers would mean that we're looking at like a star. So like, okay, yes, if he is like a Puka Nacua, Tank Dell level talent, maybe. But the thing is like Trey Tucker does something that the NFL likes. He wins downfield.
But then they drafted Dante Thornton.
Well,
the same thing.
Him too, whatever, right? It's like the point is that I'm not feeling super comfy about those guys providing me like these could be Luke McCaffrey's pretty easily that are being drafted. Like they're being drafted so close to Keon Coleman and Hollywood Brown, who I feel super good about providing points.
People viewed Hollywood Brown as a loser because they took Jalen Royals in the 5th round. I think that is crazy. I think that's people just do not like Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown is like a very negatively viewed player. I think Keon Coleman is a win. I think Palmer is a win. I think Tillman, huge winner. Those guys, Judy, Tillman, Njoku, all those guys, they are winners because they didn't take Hunter.
So they are winners, but they are getting cheaper in the market because no one knows who to stack them with, which is like a nice kind of combo because we also lost the Carolina guys. Thielen and Leggett,
Thielen I still like. Coker is dead. Leggett is is on life support, I think.
Well, I don't know. I would believe anything as far as like who is running routes for them behind Tet come later in the year, but like in the big board, okay, give me Leggett, give me Thielen, give me Dobbs, give me Wicks. And I still think the Packers guys are like fine to mix in. We've seen them actually do 4 wide receivers.
I think Dobbs is basically unchanged. I think Wicks is I mean, Wicks is like I would consider Wicks like, I don't know, the wide receiver 100 or something. He's
I
like
see
a
him go in the
handcuff.
18th round at times.
Yeah, sure. And then Reed, I ended up being lower on in general, and I actually
I
think
still like Reed. I don't understand people like burying Reed in the ranks.
the more damning thing for Jaden Reed, I feel, is the Savion pick, because Savion is just another gadgety bullshit wide receiver.
No, so like I kind of view the Savion pick as a kick returner, like he and maybe
But
like
they have the best kick returner in football.
slash like running back gadgety. Like I don't think Savion Williams, like brother, Savion won what in like the 4th round,
Third round.
Still, Jaden Reed has posted back-to-back seasons of like 185 fantasy points and half-point PPR.
But
And
he's only played over 70% of their snaps in 4 career games.
I don't care. James Cook plays 50% of the snaps. Dude scores fantasy points. Like there's to just assume that Matthew Golden is the wide receiver 1 on that team. I still think it's going to be a better and best ball team that we want.
I think
pieces
Romeo
of.
Doubs is their wide receiver 1 in terms of snaps and
Okay.
routes.
I mean, that's like calling like Gabe Davis the number 1 on the Bills when Stephon Diggs was there because Gabe Davis is out there blocking. Like snaps does not equal fantasy points.
Well, you have to be on the field, and the Packers it was their first round wide receiver since the 90s. They never did one.
Also very random to me, but like I've seen this cited a lot.
Well, it's the same people have been in charge for so long. There's continuity all the way back to the 90s in this front office.
Right, but you only have like investing in the trenches is a smart thing to do from a front office standpoint, and they also had they had really good wide receiver rooms in the past, like Jordy Nelson, like all these guys. So I don't know. I don't.
They've had ass wide receivers for the last 4 years, though.
I don't think Jaden Reed is ass. I think like Jaden Reed to me is a guy who can still go for 40 fantasy points in a week pretty easily, 30 fantasy points. Like we've seen that. I think he's still this kind of like poor man's Debo. I'm not convinced Matthew Golden is going to be target dominant either. Like he's I think going to be like kind of Jaden Reed-esque.
I think that's exactly what it'll be, which should be very bad. It should be viewed as very bad for Jaden Reed that they drafted 2 guys kind of his archetype.
Let me put this.
Who do you want to take here?
Let's do Amon-Ra and AJ Brown. I think getting
double Browns.
Yeah, guys give us Chase Brown. Let's do the law office of Brown here.
Yeah.
Chase Brown.
Thank you. You're getting to we're probably going to be arguing about Jaden Reed for the next 20 minutes. So you're not going to understand what's happening.
Well, I mean, Jaden Reed fits best ball scoring. If you said you didn't want him in managed, okay, but like to not want a guy who can I think Jordan Love was just hurt last year. I think he's going to provide a lot of fantasy fun. He's got all these dome division opponents that we could bank week 17, like him versus the Lions, him versus the Vikings.
I was out on Jaden Reed as like the wide receiver 35 or whatever. I'm much more comfortable with him at his new spot. But I guess I view Golden as a direct indictment of everyone in the room, mostly of Wicks, though. Mostly of being like, we just do not trust Dontavian Wicks. This guy can't be.
What if it's just because Christian Watson tore his ACL week 17?
Well, no, I mean, that's a huge part of it, too. But they used Wicks in the vacated Christian Watson role. He was the backup to Watson, basically. He would only come on the field when Watson came off, and they just said, this ain't gonna work. Kraft is probably the one who I want to take the most with.
Kraft is free falling in drafts too. I think that's very wrong. The message or the lesson that the market is learning is team adds pass catcher, avoid ding pass catchers. When really it's like team adds pass catcher, offense is a lot better. Some of the guys are going to be losers, right? We haven't even got to the Bucs guys, but the offense is going to be better. These are good teams that are going to score a lot of fantasy points. So you should be risking, quote unquote risking taking talented players. And I think it's totally possible, by the way, that Dobbs is the loser in the long run. Like that because Wicks does something, man. Wicks gets open. Okay. Like he didn't catch the football.
I don't think the coaches care, honestly.
We'll see.
I really don't.
We'll see on that. I will be mixing Wicks in with confidence because we've at least seen that team rotate a bunch of guys, and maybe that changes. Maybe they go to like some 12 personnel, Luke Musgrave stuff. I don't know, but
that's another thing, right? People forget Luke Musgrave started and was drafted before Tucker Kraft, and then has had like a weird injury. He had like concussions and then was injured last year, and they thought he was done for the year, and then he came back. So it's like we've got all this pressure. The Packers never play anyone over 70% of the snaps. Like there's just pressure on all the guys in that room.
Let me put it this way. Like I saw friend of the channel, Hayden Winks. I didn't click on his rankings, but I saw him tweet out that he has a ranking of Jaden Reed in like, I don't know the exact number, but it was like the 120s, which to me is like inconceivable because like in no universe do I prefer Cooper Kupp, who goes at pick 96, over Jaden Reed. In no
I
universe
agree with that.
do I prefer Josh Downs, who goes like around 99, over Jaden Reed. I don't prefer Darnell Mooney.
I've Reed at 82. That feels fair.
Yeah, and that is, if you want to put him at the tail end of a flat tier, okay, it's a flat tier anyways, right?
I actually have him kind of in a tier of his own in terms of like he's the only wide receiver I'm clicking in the 8th round, pretty much.
Yeah, I'll still take him in the. Let's see. I took him. I take him all the time. I took him at pick 76 today, which is his ADP. So that is the tail end of the 7th. The next wide receivers to go were Brandon Ayuk, who is either the best pick on the board or whatever. Then George Pickens, then Jacoby Myers, and then Jaden Higgins and Khalil Shakir.
All right, we did not get Chase Brown.
I think we go Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Hunter over Tet.
Easily for me.
Okay.
And then I'm okay with Worthy. I'm okay with Brees. I'm okay with Tet. I'm okay with Hampton. I'm okay with an elite quarterback. You choose.
There's maybe some chance in this room, because I think everyone's going to stay in their lane. We actually might be able to push Hurts all the way around. Probably not.
It happens. It
does happen. So let's do. You know what? Let's do both the rookie wide receivers. Let's take Hunter and Tet. We'll just do a true.
I don't understand why people have Tet ranked over Hunter. Hunter went 2nd in the draft. This is a significant tier above 8th overall. He plays for the Jaguars, a team I feel a lot better about. And nearly all the talk about him has been how he's going to play on offense. Okay, he's going to play some defense. Even his like high school trainers are coming out and being like, he's a wide receiver. Like they're posting like Instagrams, like he's a wide receiver first. He's just so athletic that he can play defensive back. So I don't know.
Well, they're lying. He's been viewed as a cornerback first. He was viewed as a cornerback first in high school. His first year with Dion at Jacksonville State, he only ran, I think, 80 routes. He was viewed as defensive player there first. And in fact, Schefter, who is always getting his talking points from mouthpieces, when he got drafted, he also referred to him as a natural cornerback. Now, is Hunter playing wide receiver? Absolutely. Is Travis Hunter going to run 80% of the routes at wide receiver? I don't think so. I would imagine that Tet, my baseline projection for Tet would be he sees 20 more targets over the course of a season than Hunter, perhaps even more.
If that's the case, Hunter should be good. Like if Hunter sees 20 less targets, because Hunter's targets are going to be downfield on a better offense, right? Like Hunter should be going at the 2-3 turn. And I think that
I meant Tet 20 more targets than Hunter.
That's what I'm saying. If Tet if Hunter only sees 20 targets less than Tet, like a lot of Tet's targets might be like 6-yard targets, 8-yard targets, which like these are nice. These compile stats.
Well, Tet is pretty good down the field too. I actually have not even looked at these yet. So I've not even looked at Mike Clay's projections.
What's his Bears running back split?
So he
What's
has
he got
got
for the Cowboys running backs?
he's got Hunter for 74, 885, and 5. That is 193 PPR points. Keep in mind, Mike Clay is basically the most conservative projector.
Yeah, Hunter's going to be around like 1,100 to 1,200 yards and like 7 to 9 touchdowns.
That I would not be as confident. Let's see what he has Tet for.
Clip this a year from now, folks. Zach, you listening?
He has got I bet actually he might even have, because he's gonna have a lower. Yeah, so he does not have Hunter much better. 73 receptions, 600 or 969 yards, 6 touchdowns, 204 half PPR points. He has him as the wide receiver, 26. So pretty close. Pretty close. And Mike Clay is super conservative, like does not like is not big on rookies.
Close your eyes, Davis. It's August 7th. Oh my God, Travis Hunter just caught an 80-yard bomb over Jalen Ramsey. Hits the timeline. Where does Travis Hunter go?
I mean, Travis Hunter is going to steam up. I absolutely, of course I agree with that. But I right now have Tet ranked ahead, and I feel pretty good about that from like a median projection perspective.
Like median, Davis, which, as far as like, really, folks, you want to be hunting the guys, right? Like AJ Brown from a median perspective, he's What we like about AJ Brown is he scores 30 points, 40 points at times, which, if those hit at the right time, win you a lot of money. I am very convinced in Travis Hunter.
AJ Brown's median projections are pretty good.
I mean, they're okay, but like, as far as like amount of targets, Drake London, Ladd, like you would think these guys are going to get JSN probably. These guys are probably going to get more targets.
1,250 and 8, the wide receiver 7. So that is ahead of where he's been. We're up. Who do you want at running back? Hurts did not make
I
it.
like Chuba. I like doing the Chuba Tet thing, betting on the Panthers to be a lot better. I like that when we've committed. And
we were not close to getting Hurts, but all right. So we'll go Chuba for one of them. We could take a 5th wide receiver and just hammer.
I mean, Addison is kind of the end of a tier. Like Addison to Jennings is kind of a decent lead.
I agree. Yeah. And I was sorting by my rankings. Judy is there.
No, in no universe do I want Judy over Addison.
I agree. Addison is the end of a tier. So we've got Hubbard as our anchor running back. Amon-Ra, AJ Brown, Travis Hunter, Ted McMillan, Jordan Addison. So we have all of our quarterbacks other than Hurts live, and we have a little Panther stack brewing there.
Jack saying that Hunter and Ted are pretty much the same odds to go for 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
I just I believe a couple things today. One, I do think the Panthers offense could be like surprisingly like fun and like good. If Bryce Young,
they were legitimately fun for like the last 8 games last year.
Yeah. And like that, they get a bunch of bad division opponents. Like even the Bucks, like this is not an opposing team in the sense that awesome offense, bad defense. That's a good fantasy formula. I don't know, man. I think it's just like, if Hunter is truly a Jefferson, Chase, Malik Neighbors type talent, like that's a slam. And there are a lot of questions for like DJ Moore, huge loser, Mike Evans.
Yeah.
I tend to think like, let's talk about the Bucks, because I tend to think
Bucks are all losers across the board. And
I saw Chris Godwin go pick 80 last night.
He just went pick 57 here. 80 is right about where I have him ranked.
I think it's quite possible he starts the year on PUP, right? Like all these teams tried to sign him, but maybe this Ibuka selection is an indication of that. I think it's sharp from a front office standpoint in that if we have a Baker, our best chance to beat these other playoff teams is just to surround him with stars. Evans and Godwin, obviously no spring chickens, but adding the 17th overall pick in the draft, Rome, a huge loser too. So
Rome, I think It really, I guess it depends on your prior where you do that, because Rome should be viewed as the biggest loser because it is a direct indictment. We just took a wide receiver in round 1, and now we're taking not only a tight end in round 1, but then our second pick is also a pass catcher. Like it should be viewed as a huge dunk on Rome that they just took 2 pass catchers.
Him more like it's like Hunter, where it's like I still think the spike weeks will be there, especially for Moore. Like I guess it's kind of fair to question how good Rome is based on how bad that rookie year was, which could look foolish if it's just like all the Bears coaches and O-line and Caleb being a rookie, yada yada. Like it's still in the range that Rome turns into a star, right? But
Sure.
it's not great. And yeah, I mean, these guys should be cheaper. I'm still going to be sprinkling them in because I think the Bears are going to be a better offense today. I think the Bucks are going to be a better offense today, right? Like I think these teams are going to be good offenses. We like the quarterback. The quarterbacks are winners. The ambiguity is just pretty high.
Yeah, the market is just not caught up yet to the fact that they're all a little bit worse. Like you don't really keep first round wide receivers off the field, and Jalen McMillan is not going to go to 0.
He's not.
Yeah. Now Godwin is not, based on what Jason Light said, and we'll see if he's telling the truth or not. It didn't have anything to do with his health.
Sure, bro. Right? Like,
well, I mean, like they could be telling the truth. They could be lying. Godwin could be healthy. Godwin could not be healthy. Like it's also, I mean, just from an organizational perspective, Godwin is 28. Mike Evans is 31. Mike Evans is on the last year of his deal. You'd much rather have the guy in-house than try and do like what the Bills have had to do. Like, oh shit, Diggs left. Let's take Keon Coleman, and then Keon Coleman stinks. Like you don't want to be in that.
I don't know if like Keon was pretty good until he got hurt. I thought.
I mean,
this is an aggressive ranking on Brian Robinson, brother. Like I like him too, but pick 80 is a little rich to me.
I've not done any market baking with my rankings yet. Like normally my process is
like that feels dead zone
blending. Yeah, I mean it's just like, dude. I mean he scored.
Let's do Aaron Jones. Let's get that running back wide receiver correlation.
All right, Aaron Jones, and then do you want to take a quarterback? Do you want to take a tight end, or do you want to double tap? We could also do DeAndre Swift here.
I like Swift straight up over Robinson for sure.
All right,
and I don't really know. Like, I have them ranked back to back. Yeah,
I like Fields. I like Fields for this team. If you're at all interested in that,
there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks in the next round, but
we might get. I mean, it's fine if we get boxed out because we could take Bryce and Lawrence.
Pollard. I think we should take a running back. Just choose one because both of them will be gone.
We'll do Swift. Yeah,
both of them currently go at the 8-9 turn, and so we just took them at the 7-8. You're just very rarely getting them at the 9-10 anymore.
Yeah. So an AARP RB room: Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, bunch of guys not even on their second contracts. We have dudes on their third contracts in our running back room. So
we're getting a lot of division stacks, which is sharp before we have the NFL schedule. Like we got the Vikings, the Bears, the Lions. Let's talk about a couple things. One, should Jaylen Warren be going 20 picks after Caleb Johnson?
Yes, but everyone's already told me I'm wrong about that.
I mean, that's how it's going. I just think that they should be going kind of more.
I think Jaylen Warren should probably be going later.
I don't know. I mean, we know Caleb's not going to be there on third down, right?
How many touchdowns for Jaylen Warren in his career? 3 years.
What's the Mike Cray? What's the Mike? He was injured last year. What's the Mike Clay projection? That I'm interested.
This is a good question. I do really like this early in the season checking my stuff against Mike.
I've never done that before, but
he's got him for 165 rushes, 721 yards, 4 touchdowns,
Yeah, pretty similar.
52 receptions, which feels high. 376 yards and 1 touchdown. That makes him the running back 27. Frankly, I would probably short most of those numbers, but
I do have Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback of the Steelers as well.
yeah, I agree.
What about pull up the Chief running back room? And how are you viewing Pacheco today? That's what I want to talk about.
I mean, I'm viewing Pacheco as the week 1 starter with like so much fragility, like the most fragility imaginable, because he might just not be good anymore. He has it ordered Pacheco 183 rushes, 47 targets. He's got Hunt as the running back 2, 115 rushes and 24 targets. He's got Eli Mitchell as the running back 3, 30 rushes, 9 targets. And then he has Brashard Smith and Carson Steele, popping in and out.
Honestly, the best thing for Pacheco would be like if Hunt starts the year as the running back for the first 4 weeks, allowing him to ease in, and then Pacheco is like that guy we were drafting last year at the 2-3 turn.
Yeah.
What about how's he have the Swift Roshan split? I'm curious what he did there.
Bears.
And guys, keep in mind that Mike Clay's really good at this, I'm sure, but even for him, this is like the ambiguous situations. He's just guessing, right?
Okay, he's got Swift for a lot. 244 rushes, 43 targets, almost 1,300 scrimmage yards, 9 touchdowns. He's got Roshan for about 600 scrimmage yards, but 7 touchdowns. So he's got him as the clear goal line back.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I like our team quite a bit. Like 5 strong wide receivers.
Let's look at the Cowboys
combo. Yeah, what is it?
I mean, that is more work than the market is giving Jaden Blue. That is,
Jaden Blue's ADP just hasn't caught up. I mean, bro, I would believe Miles Sanders' resurgence. The one thing I don't believe is like Javonte Williams is good. He might get volume. He might, because he's a pass catching back and he can pick up blitzes.
Well, he's not really a pass catching back. We just used Peyton just used him there because the other guys sucked. I would say Javonte at this stage of his career is probably best at being like a north-south rusher. Like, I don't, you know who Javonte Williams is now? He's like the same as like Roshan Johnson. He just is a guy who's just there.
Yeah, except what I think he does well is he picks up blitzes and whatnot, and so that gets him on the field. He's a huge draft winner on paper, but I don't know. Please, J.K. Dobbins land with the Cowboys. Do you have understanding of what the Chargers did to J.K. Dobbins yesterday?
It's the same thing that the Browns did to Elijah Moore, which is like some weird archaic restricted tender so that they get like a compensatory pick.
That's what I thought. People are labeling it as a bad thing. Here, pull up the picks here.
Wow, what this is.
Yeah, let's just do Caleb with Swift.
He went.
Oh, he went. What's the quarterback tab look like?
It's dead. Drake May, Dak,
okay,
Love.
Pass on quarterback. Click. Let's do Loveland.
Loveland.
Yeah, you like that?
He should
totally flip Warren and then go back. I'm okay with
ADP.
Charbonnet or.
We should actually just take. I was going to say we should just take Higgins because we're going to have to take 3 quarterbacks on this team. Maybe Stroud gets back to us. We're probably going to have to double tap quarterback at the next turn, and we're actually probably not going to love the options that are available to us.
Well, if we get Stroud and Trevor, that would feel really nice. Division stacks plus 2 stacks.
Yeah,
Love. Basically, what should happen is Loveland should flip Warren, and Warren should flip Loveland in ADP. But that's not quite happened yet.
Loveland, I can't get to what the market is doing with him here, but I get it. I don't think it's bad.
The 100s.
It's like, dude, he's gonna like be. We might not like it, but he is going to be in a timeshare. Like he's not immediately coming into 80% of the routes and might not get there the whole time.
Well, that's another thing that could happen. The Bears could like run 12 and then Burden, Rome, DJ Moore, like one of them could be off the field, you know? So I don't know. I think bullish landing spot, bullish draft capital, like really, really good tight end to have in the mix for wins downfield. Like, you know, very few tight ends do that. So I don't know. I just like his chances to like give us some big weeks. And it kind of pairs with this division stack we're doing.
Yeah.
Punt,
Like I'm sorry, man, but like Travis Kelce is gonna score more fantasy points than Colston Loveland, and Njoku's gonna score more points. Tucker Kraft probably is gonna score more points. You know.
that's kind of where I was at pre-draft, but I think taking Loveland is just kind of trying to get CLV. So I do agree. Like I still like these vets a lot. Like I don't like Kelce as much just because he's like ancient.
He's a billion years old.
Yeah, I like Jonnu though. I like Ingram. I like Kraft. I like Kincaid. I like all these vets to like Njoku. I like a lot too. I like these guys to give really big values and be strong, you know, potentially tanking a Bowers or McBride advance rate if like one of them has like a magical year. But I think Loveland enthusiasm could get pretty high later in the year.
Loveland enthusiasm will be high. He was the freaking 10th pick in the draft. It's a fun team. It's a fun quarterback or whatever, but you know, it's just very hard for.
I prefer Loveland over Andrews, I think. Just because I don't know, vibes are weird for Andrews.
The vibes are weird, but you know, I don't know. It's just another dude who's on a good offense who's locked into 80% of the routes or whatever.
Yeah, he just scored like a touchdown like 10 weeks in a row, which it's like, is that sustainable? I mean, it is Lamar. It is the Ravens.
I was going to say, like if Andrews gets traded, I will probably be bearish. But getting to play with Lamar when you're a guy who scores touchdowns is like such a cheat code because you just get wide. Like how many times has Mark Andrews scored a touchdown and there's not a defender in the frame? You know, like he's just standing there.
Yeah. I don't know. I prefer like Bateman as a cheaper piece of the Ravens offense. Just trying to fall into those spikes.
All right, we actually are going to get lucky at quarterback here, so that's nice. That was that made up for
yeah, go Stroud and Trevor. That's a slam.
Yeah.
And you know, they can't even snipe us. We can go JJ McCarthy if we wanted. But I prefer Stroud and Trevor.
Stroud and Trevor, Stroud Higgins.
Or unless you want to do McCarthy and Trevor, but
well, I'm just trying to think about so definitely Trevor because it matches our highest. You want your quarterback with the guy you drafted the highest, I think.
They both work. I prefer Stroud just because they took like 4 wide receivers. The O-line's a question mark, but
we'll do Stroud. We'll do Stroud.
Yeah. I mean, I take McCarthy. I feel good about it. I like what the Vikings have done. They've improved the O-line. They're like kind of trying to go all in here.
McCarthy without Jefferson though is like sick. We got to the final. I got my JJ McCarthy, Jordan Addison team there. Sick. It's same thing with Burrow, like the Burrow backstackers. Like, congrats, you got to the final with Joe Burrow and Mike Gesicki and Andre Yoshivas. You know, your team is gonna sim for last place. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like my brothers. We were taking Stroud at the 4-5 turn. This could be, what if it's flop lag? What if we get that 5,000-yard season?
Well, historically, that's what's happened with these pass-only quarterbacks is the year everyone buys on them, they stink, right? Burrow is a 4-5 turn pick. Lawrence is a 4-5 turn pick. These are like some of the worst picks in fantasy football history. And then
I think this is disrespectful to Kirk, by the way, to be going after, he went after Jalen McMillan, which is insane. like you would have to assume that he is the second target at least for the first 8 weeks of the season.
I am not assuming. I think Kirk is like functionally dead.
Maybe that's possible. Like maybe he just never recovers. I mean, bro, guys, Jack Beck going within like 5 picks of Kirk.
I would definitely rather have Beck.
I would book that.
Trying to think about the best way to structure the bet. I would definitely love to. I would definitely love. Dude. I would. Well, Kirk is going to have a better median projection. He's going to project for like.
Pull up the Mike Clay. Right now. Let's pull up the Mike Clay Kirk projection.
I'm pulling it up here.
It's going to be like 700 yards, 4 touchdowns.
All right, we have got the
people
Texans.
Don't. Kirk is a vertical slot. He is. People call him a 4-play.
He's got him for nothing. He has him for 77 targets.
He has him for 640 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's roughly what I said.
He's got Beck for more yards and the same touchdowns. And
what is this rate? Pull up what's he got on Bowers. So Bowers for 1,000, Myers for 850. When have we seen Geno support 3 guys?
2022.
Lockett, Metcalf, and
the running back. 20 or hold on, let me pull up.
Running back doesn't count. He's not a pass catcher.
2022 for Seattle, we had 90, 1,006 for Metcalf, 1,009 for Lockett, 486 and 4 for Fant. We had 4 touchdowns for Godwin, 3 touchdowns for Disley, 2 touchdowns for Parkinson. I mean, that was a weird team. Laquan Treadwell was in there. Dwayne Eskridge. They also only threw 553 times. He has got the Raiders for basically 2 more games worth of throws, 599 throws.
He has 526. I see it on the screen.
That is he gives 2 he projects injury for everyone.
Injury? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. That seems pretty aggressive on Beck, but I guess
he's a second round wide receiver who's like a good prospect profile, and there's 2 guys who are going to get targets on the team.
What's the Patriots? Pull it up. I want to see this Kyle Williams. This is the messiest team to project.
I was going to say I bet Kyle Williams is projected for like nothing. Yeah, 29 and 352. Yeah, he's got
Douglas.
I mean, he's got
a mess. He's got Max, Bourne, Booty.
Yeah.
Henry.
Patriots an obvious mess spot.
Yeah, but like, Bateman and Kyle Williams go like close in the draft, where it's like Bateman will probably have a projection of like 600 to 700 yards.
Well, that's because we can't just draft straight off projections. You have to like view things.
No, of course not. But it is a huge wish casting we're doing on some of these players. I guess the Jack one, not like Beckett and Kyle Williams.
Beck literally has no competition.
Brock Bowers, GT, and Myers.
But no competition to get on the field. Kyle Williams is not locked into even playing.
Yes, I agree. But I think Beck has significant competition for touching the football.
Yeah. You could see from the projection, he's also projecting the Raiders for a ton of plays because Chip Kelly, we actually could. You want to just take McCarthy here?
Yeah. I mean, why not, right? What's the tight end tab look like?
Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, Pat Fryer, Mike
Gesicki. What's the wide receiver and running backs look like?
Dead at wide receiver.
Running back.
Algier, I like.
Either Algier or Noel for me.
Let's do.
Noel is like injury contingent. Like,
well, we have the stack too.
Yeah,
so we'll do Noel.
And like whatever. Like maybe Noel's just better than Higgins. Like obviously draft capital
happens all the time.
Yeah,
happens all the time where the second drafted guy is better.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. Noel, I would be making the same case as like Kyle Williams, where it's like, okay, this guy's not projected for any points, but whatever, Neither was Tank Dell. And we're in the
I mean,
and we're in the 14th round.
100%. I mean, I think I probably will end up having a lot of Noel because I just view Christian Kirk as a 0.
Okay, but he's not a 0, so that's
Christian Kirk is going to be nursing a hamstring strain in week 9, and that is just going to be it. It's literally going to be
total witch casting. I just need everyone out there to understand that this is just Davis telling a fan fiction. It's not going to necessarily happen, right? Like,
I mean, Christian Kirk is just not good anymore, dude.
Disagree, right? Like, I think
one 1,000-yard season. It took place 3 years ago.
Okay.
He has 29 career touchdowns in 8 seasons. He just is like a really average player.
Could totally have, he's probably a better fit for PPR. He still wins vertical. He's on the Texans. Maybe he's done after the injury. I don't know. Maybe Noel's so good. Maybe Higgins is so
good. Is being on the Texans even good? Like that I think
it's either really good or really bad with their O-line. But like we saw them with a bad O-line his rookie year still support some huge games. So I don't know. He's not comfy in that he could lose a job for sure, right? Like he could be the wide receiver 4. He could get hurt. But he's, in a median season.
Noah Brown is like literally one of the most useless players in all of football. Tough scene, man. Tough scene. Yeah, basically the answer is no one was good on the Texans last year as a pass catcher other than Nico. Not Tank. Diggs had 2 good games.
Diggs was quite good until he got hurt, and Tank clearly was never recovered from his injuries.
Diggs, I think we memed it a little bit. 0 100-yard games, below career averages in yards per target, yards per reception. He scored some touchdowns though.
Yeah.
And to me, 2024 Diggs far better than Mr. Kirk.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want a 0% Christian Kirk, that's fine, right? He's not going to be a league winner. He is very live to give a bunch of usable weeks that could come at the right time of the
So that I totally agree with you there, but in terms of like usable week guys, I actually like probably like Cedric Tillman and Thielen and Dubs more as just like
you like them straight up over Kirk.
As like in terms of like team building, I would rather
you like them at cost. You're saying
I would like them at cost better. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, now this actually I should straight up. This is like a huge point. Slowick might just be so bad.
Yeah,
it might just be Slowick is so bad that it totally changes things.
To me, the message out of the Texans is we're done with the run pass. That was why Slowick got fired. Yeah. They are going to pass first. And so I want to be buying Texans pieces. And I certainly don't want to miss Kirk, who is very cheap.
I also want to be buying Texans pieces. I just don't want to be buying that piece. Like, who actually,
and you might just miss like a really, really good season from Kirk, right? Like,
who's actually the Texan to target?
It's not Schultz.
It's Schultz, dude. Schultz is so
click
free.
On tight end. Schultz is a major loser. Let's do Freiermuth and Otten. Or what's the running back? We need another running back in here,
huh? Hunter Fitz.
I don't like your rankings.
All right, here's ADP.
Click tight end. Let's do a tight end first. Freiermuth or Otten.
Well, let's just do Schultz for the stack.
Dude, he's such a loser. He's a loser with them drafting all these wideouts, is he not?
Let's discuss that after we make this pick.
I would do Roshan for the double tap, Braylon, Eckler. I don't know if all these guys are gone.
Let's do
Dobbins.
Let's do Braylon.
He's gone.
No.
Marshawn Lloyd.
Let's do Lloyd.
Marshawn Lloyd. Gotta be quick. 2 seconds.
Lloyd a small winner. Got him.
Lloyd a pretty big winner. No added draft. The only like if he was always behind Patrick Wilson and Emmanuel whatever, okay, that's not great. And maybe Savion could take his snaps too.
Yeah.
But this room got weird at running back. Okay, Roshan's gone, Shipley's gone, Eckler's gone.
Why do you think Schultz is a loser? Who replaces him?
He was like really terrible last year.
He is a bad player.
And I think he's a loser just because they added 2 rookie wide receivers and Kirk. So now he's competing for touches with Nico, Kirk, Higgins, and maybe Noel. So it's just like the most like empty target volume stuff where
I mean, in 2023, he went 59 receptions, 635 yards, 5 touchdowns with Nico and Dell as breakouts. That is like I'm not saying Dalton Schultz should be a tent pole of your strategy. I think he's totally whatever.
But he could have a miracle season, right? But I don't know. He seems like a pretty bad click. Like Pat Freiermuth having a miracle season with Rodgers, I buy that a lot more. There's
like
only
to give you guys an idea, Schultz's 2023 was more fantasy points than Dalton Kincaid has ever had in a season.
How did it do in 2024? Because I remember watching Schultz get
he was
10
awful.
targets a game.
He was terrible.
Yeah, he like so bad that he might just like be losing his job to some guy we don't even know exists.
It could. I mean, don't get me wrong. It could be like he actually could just lose his job to Cade Stover. That is totally in the realm.
I like Mike Gesicki. I feel actively good about. Right, Pat Freiermuth. I feel pretty good about.
I think Freiermuth being on a low volume offense with the 2 wide receivers. Now Pickens gets traded, whatever. But I don't view Freiermuth as like a target.
I mean, like, okay, if you like envision,
I also don't view Schultz as a target either. I would only ever take him with Stroud, but we have Stroud.
But we had 2 pass catchers already, so it's like do we need a third guy who's getting 40 yards a game?
Well, I mean, we're dust if. Good shit. Actually, this team sucks. I forgot we had a rookie as our first tight end.
Well, yeah, I just think like to me, Pickens and Metcalf could both just be running like go routes in this Arthur Smith offense, and then like Freiermuth is just eating over the middle again and again to Rodgers. Like that is in the range for some games. And I like Cade Otton. Like I understand it's similar to Schultz. I just think Cade Otton was really good last. Cade Otton at times was like 6,500 on DraftKings. You know, like in that stretch where Godwin got hurt. Yes, it took injuries, but I like his chances to just fall into some touchdowns on that.
You can't. I'm not letting you label Schultz a loser and then not label Cade Otton a loser.
Cade Otton is also a loser. I just feel a lot more warm and fuzzy about his chances to be the touchdown guy.
I mean, touchdowns for these tight ends, they're like effectively random. These are not volume earners over the course of their career. Neither of them. Cade Otton is decidedly not a good player.
Mark saying he was 6K and played in cash. Yeah, like that was Cade Otton for weeks at a time. Like we've seen him. We know he's at least as good if he gets the opportunity. Schultz had the same opportunity. It was Nico and him and like Xavier Hutchinson. And Schultz was awful. What's this team? Like, I guess we are forced to stop at 2 tight ends here.
I mean, we really probably should take a third and just hope that our old men stick together. Like,
brother, no, we need another running back that can actually give us points. Like we need like Justice Hill or Hunt.
Yeah. No, I think actually, after looking at the projections, I like Hunt a little bit more. I think Hunt is probably better.
I would take Estime or
Gone.
Okay, I would take Jaleel or Hill for me.
All right, then what?
You want to do another tight end or another running back? I think maybe we just go thin at tight end.
I mean, Jatavian Sanders probably is better for us, but we could do another running back too.
I just think this is why I didn't like the Schultz pick because I'm just not convinced he scores any points. Choose your favorite running back. Hill is the most likely to give us some good weeks, I think, and like not be a
Honestly,
zero.
dude, we're fine at running back. These guys just have to stay healthy.
Yeah, it's just really what it is like I don't on the 18 rounds going to 3 quarterbacks puts you in a bind at one of the positions usually.
We should have taken a third tight end.
We should have just taken someone not Dalton Schultz, and I would have felt comfy with the 2 tight ends. But hey, guys, Dalton Schultz is winning Davis and I $1 million each, and then we're gonna have him on the pod, and I'm gonna have to eat crow.
Dalton Schultz, yeah, the most Dalton Schultz projection imaginable: 49, 526, and 2.
2. Pull up the Otten one.
It's
and the
gonna be
Fryermuth
worse.
one. They're gonna crush that.
Cade, fewer targets, fewer receptions, but 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, like that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like the 5 touchdowns. Like that's what I'm feeling. Fryermuth is gonna be like for like 100 targets or something.
83. Yeah, bad projection on Fryermuth.
Yeah, I mean, Steelers are a weird team to project, too.
Yeah.
Well, I like the team overall, right? Like it's good at quarterback.
This team sucks. We should
good
not have
at
taken
wide
McCarthy.
receiver. You really just need Chuba, Jones, and Swift to be solid.
You know what? We actually probably doing this again when you start out with the 5 receivers.
You don't
We
need
probably would trade in Knoll for a tight end or a running back, I think.
Yeah, tight end, but like honestly, like, you know, you can get away with 2 thin tight ends. It's getting harder because I think there's so many quality tight ends now in the league, right? Like,
Yeah.
like
Also, this is funny. Just while we're arguing, we've got
huge
Schultz for 72 targets. We've got Kirk for 77. They basically have the same projection. One more touchdown for Kirk.
It's not like there's like infinite tight ends though that project for Schultz. Like Kyle Williams is projected for a fifth.
Yeah, there are infinite tight ends who project for between 400 and 550 yards and between 2 and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, Mason Taylor, Tyler Conklin. Like I'm sure he has a decent projection.
I don't even know. Oh, probably not. Well, maybe. Well, that's actually funny. I haven't even thought about it.
I drafted Conklin. Yeah, 403.
Yep, 403. He's going to be wrong, though, because Aronde Gadsden is going to be the starting tight end there. These are Mike Clay's free projections. You can get these on ESPN. You just Google Mike Clay NFL projections. He's the only person I know right now who has stat level projections up.
Does he let you look at his last year's stuff?
Yeah.
So you can pull up 2024.
Let me see if I can find it. 2024.
What are the funniest teams to look at for 2024?
2024.
Like pull up like the Waddle projection.
Season long NFL projections. See, you're not going to be able to gotcha as much with him.
I'm not trying to gotcha, you know.
Well, no, but he will be like he'll be so conservative on these.
Yeah.
All right. This is 2024 Dolphins. Waddle for 81, 1,005. Like that's like the most conservative, like whatever, like
very conservative, and he did much worse than that.
Yeah, but like
an example of Mike Clay is the Mostert projection.
Yes, exactly, because that is basically the role that these guys were in. You know.
Yes, he just copy and pasted. Like I fully faded Mostert pretty much last year. It wasn't comfortable. I remember being like, this guy was really good. Am I really going to do this? And like, he was just kind of too expensive. He was going like the 8th round or something. But yeah, it took like a leap of faith to fade him. The Jonnu, right? Like you can't project like what's this year Jonnu projection? I like him more than Kelsey for sure.
67, 693, and 4 tight end 9, 159 PPR points.
Yeah. I mean, when that Tyreek Hill trade hits at the trade deadline, it's going to hit for Jonnu and Waddle.
Is anyone going to freaking trade for Tyreek, man? Yeah, I would guess that in terms of like RSQ, Clay projections are going to do very well because he is conservative. Because good projection systems are often very conservative. This is more of an argument. This happens in baseball more than it does in football because projections are better in baseball. But people always get mad when their prospects in baseball get called up and they go check the projections and they're like, what do you mean this prospect I really like projects like a below league average player? And then the guy sucks and gets sent back down. And the projections people are like, oh, well,
How you
guess
feeling
you're
about
right about that.
Ollie Gordon?
I mean, that seems crazy low to me, but
Madison was good for stretches last year, man.
yeah, he was.
You guys remember Charles Clay? Yeah, that was a Bills legend.
All right, final team: Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, J.J. McCarthy, Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, DeAndre Swift, Marshawn Lloyd, Jaleel McLaughlin, Justice Hill. The AARB room: Amon-Ra St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Travis Hunter, Ted McMillan, Jordan Addison, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Knoll, Colston Loveland, and Dalton Schultz.
And I think it's totally fine to build some teams that feel thin at tight end, where it's like, if Loveland lives up to his draft capital his rookie year, this is, Ben Johnson is the guy who did that for Sam Laporta. This team is going to be actually really strong, right? Like, so you should be building some teams that feel fragile at a position where if it hits right, like, an example last year was building 2 quarterback with Jaden Daniels. Like, that was my finals team. And people weren't confident doing that. Building 2 tight end with Brock Bowers, right? Like that, draft like you're right. So we're drafting like Loveland is a hit for that team.
Yeah. Which is fine. I'm not going to have a big bag of Loveland, so I'm happy. I'm happy to get it there.
Sam Laporta goes 20 picks later on Underdog than DraftKings. How you feeling about that? Who's right?
Wait, say that again?
Sam Laporta goes like pick 70 on Underdog at times. He goes like pick 50 on DraftKings. Who's right?
Not pick 50.
I can see the vision.
By the way, this is just like the most well-established stuff of all time, but I do just want to all data and all good coaches will tell you that you do not have to establish the run. Take it from Bill Walsh, the godfather of everything that you hold dear. Bill Walsh used to say that no matter how much he threw the ball on first down, defenses coaches won't adjust. If you're wasting first down with a run, there's nothing in the stats or observable history that says that's a wide thing to do.
Are you meaning to show this 33rd team article right now?
Yeah, this is Joe Banner. He used to be a GM of an NFL team.
33rd team did some weird stuff. They had like a bunch.
Their guy who bought them didn't pay anyone.
I was working for them for a bit and just like putting some best ball stuff out there. And then they just like fired their whole fantasy team or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But basically I love T-Bear telling Bill Walsh that Bill Walsh is wrong about football. That to me, that is kind of the highlight of being T-Bear, saying Bill Walsh doesn't know shit.
Let's talk football. Justin Jefferson versus CeeDee Lamb, because I think, like projections has got to kind of sign with Lamb, right? With like no one else there.
I mean, other than that,
pull up Mike. But like Jefferson, I mean, it's very close. It doesn't really, I like Puka. It doesn't really matter, honestly, if Lamb projects to see 20 more targets. It's going to matter who scores more fantasy points. Weeks 17.
Jefferson 293. CD 283. So yeah, effectively the same.
He has CD for 10 less targets than Jefferson.
I think that's right.
It's kind of surprising just because like you think TJ Hawkinson and Addison, like is he baking in Addison gets suspended? Because like I guess the question is, who's the ball going to in Dallas outside of CeeDee Lamb? Does it go to Tolbert? Does it go to Ferguson? He's a big winner, I guess. Does Amari Cooper? Does Amari Cooper go back? Dallas doesn't seem like a team that people want to go back to. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like they
Zeke
leave.
did. Zeke kept going back.
Yeah, hey, that's fair, actually, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the answer is they're both good. But the reason why the projections would be that way is he's projecting Dallas to be bad on offense and projecting Minnesota to be really good.
Same win total to Vegas, but
Bowers, London, A-Chain, Brown, Henry, JT.
One of those first three names for me. I feel Achan's a pretty you and me pick.
No, we're taking Bowers. I'm going to force you to sit in the Bowers cuck chair.
Okay. I mean,
Bowers
amazing.
That'll keep us from arguing about Colston Loveland again.
Well, now we can tack on Dalton Schultz and call it a day and not even
how
worry
about
it.
Your boy Jake Ferguson, huge winner actually. Huge winner.
Yeah. I got him at pick a draft just before I jumped on. I got him at pick 141. I feel like it has to go higher than that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, I do think the guy who turned Nick Mullins into a 400-yard per game passer and got Sam Darnold a 3-year, $100 million contract can probably do okay with a guy who lost 0 games in high school or college. Believe it or not, I do think that.
I saw Jared Goff. Me and Jacob Sanderson ended up in a draft last night, and it was the most insane draft I've ever seen. I saw Jared Goff go at pick 162.
Jesus.
And I had built like a very unflexible team, so like I couldn't take advantage of these values. But and Godwin went pick 74, and all the running backs were going.
My apologies. JJ McCarthy did lose 2 games in college. My apologies. 2 games.
That's a classic Davis-ism. If you aren't hip, there's just slight little white lies, right?
That is literally the meme. Yeah. That is what I do. No, that is so frustrating, Liam, though, when like someone else is getting a huge value, but you can't really. But that'll happen if you're in the back of there are 12 people, they're all best ball heads, you know. It's like, well, it doesn't make any stack. It doesn't make any sense. You can't backstack Jared Goff. I'm not gonna win. Right? Like that's because that's what it is.
No, it was just, like I started 7 straight wide receivers in the draft. So like I was and I had that was not the plan. But like the Aaron Jones of the world and like Tony Pollard like went in like the 70s. Let's talk about Judkins and Henderson.
I mean,
Henderson's
like
ADP
Henderson's
seems pretty rich to me.
So say that again.
Henderson's ADP seems pretty rich to me.
I agree. I need to move him down in my rankings because
like
I think
early 50s is like.
I see the vision. It's like the Patriots get way better on offense. The offensive line, it's the Gibbs and Montgomery thing and whatever. He's really good. People really like him. But if they're a terrible team like they were last year, what do you want to do here?
I would do Rice. I would do Lamar. You want to do elite quarterback and elite tight end and try to go like round.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
We'll go. Let's try attacking tight end quarterback in like the last two picks.
Yeah. Tet will be going higher, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's like all these guys are so leapable. Like Tyreek Hill pushes another woman and he's free falling. Terry is just there. Garrett Wilson. He's Fields pass catcher. DJ Moore should not be going there. Marvin's like one of the only guys who like solidly feels like he could live at the 2-3.
Hey, hold on. Terry McLaurin is literally 30. His birthday's in September. This is his age 30 season. He is 30. That is not a lie. That is true. Terry is literally.
I was 28, but
Brees, Worthy, Tet, Rashid.
I'm cool with Hunter, Rice, Worthy, Tet, Devonta Smith.
Let's do we could take Flowers also.
We could.
Let's take Rushy. Let's do.
Yeah.
We're playing this as Lamar scores 3 rushing touchdowns in week 17.
It's also like Flowers from a guy who was drafting him a lot last year. He's basically just kind of like souped up Khalil Shakir.
I don't really like Zay. I've got Zay ranked after ADP.
I mean, he's a spike week guy, kind of like 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Well, it just ends up being super frustrating because you're like, oh my god, this dude is so good. Look at him play. He catches the ball. He looks like grease freaking lightning. And then you look at the box score and you're like, wait, he has 4 catches for 64 yards. What do you mean he only has 4 catches for 64 yards? You know? Like,
Yeah, and I
one
mean,
of those things.
anyone in the Ravens offense can fall into the miracle touchdown year, right? Like,
It just hasn't happened for Zay yet.
yeah, like it could all come together, and Zay has 10 touchdowns this year, or Bateman does
believe-
again, or likely does.
I'm not trying to lie, but I believe, yes, Willie Snead has the same amount of max career touchdowns in a season as Zay Flowers playing with Lamar.
And the thing about Rice is part of the reason the draft right now is to try to get guys combos you can't get later.
Yep.
And it's very possible you won't be able to get several, like both Lamar and Rice, both might just rise to the 2-3, or, you know, even if Lamar falls to the 4-5, that's fine because it's just unique. But Rice could just go to the second. He could just go to the first, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would be ranking Rice as a first round pick if he didn't get hurt and have suspension risk. Like right behind Puka.
I wonder if I would have him. I probably would not have him ranked as a first rounder, but I'd have him ranked. I'd have him ranked where Lad goes.
The market would. It would be like similar to the Adams and Puka, where like Rice would be by Puka and Worthy would be by Adams.
Yeah, that's probably right. But yes, Henderson, I think a smidgen. Where'd he go in this one? He just went at 49 in this one. I
crazy pick of RJ Harvey as well. Like, I think the Patriots will take a leap. Judkins went straight up over Henderson in the draft. Judkins.
Well, it's funny. I'm like Judkins is probably gonna have a better role, but the Browns just might be like insane dog shit.
Maybe.
Like, you know what I'm saying? They might just be terrible.
So maybe will the Patriots, right? Like, I think the Patriots could be the second best team in the AFC East.
Yeah.
But they could also be 5 wins again, you know, like that's not impossible.
What button you want to click here?
Always Waddle or Olave for me, pretty much. Just like one of these guys.
I like we'll do Waddle. I like Olave a little bit more when you have an elite quarterback, because then you don't have to worry about the fact that one of your dudes doesn't stack. Yeah. Nick Chubb was not good for fantasy last season, and yeah. So I would.
Nick Chubb was like a very bad pick.
He did have 1 2-touchdown game.
Uncomfortable full fade for me.
Nick Chubb
last year, yeah, full fade.
Oh, sure.
I mean, he was cheap.
Okay.
He was cheap. That's why I was uncomfortable.
Cheap.
Definitely Olave. Like, if he's there, you just have to do this.
We could take Addison again. Also, we could take.
I prefer Olave strongly over Addison.
I mean, I have Olave ranked over him as well. All right, we're
just think of, like, if this team was drafted week 3 last year, Olave's a second round pick, Waddle's a second round pick, Rice is a first round pick, Puka's a first round pick, Bowers is like a third round pick, Lamar's a third round pick or higher. Like, we're just building a super team with what we know in the past. We know why some of these guys are here. Waddle and Olave, disappointing seasons. Olave, concussion injury risk. Addison, suspension risk, though, too, right? Like, I don't know. There's still left to fall for all these guys. Rice, Addison, Olave.
Yeah. All right, so we have got Puka, Brock Bowers, Lamar Jackson, Rashee Rice, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave. This is heading for a classic slappy Jalen Warren running back 1 team.
Well, there's a couple ways you could go from here. You could like tack on 2 more wide receivers with your next 2 picks and stop at 6. You could just start hammering running backs and really depend on the quality of your first 4 wide receivers to like hit your lineup a lot. Something like that.
Quinshon Judkins at 66. I mean, that is a pretty reasonable pick, I think.
Yeah, that's where he goes, and I think Henderson belongs in this tier. Like I would believe any of Kamara, Chuba, Judkins, Walker, Henderson, Harvey, James Conner. Like I'd believe any of these guys are like, wow, why didn't I have more of this guy?
There's a lot of guys in this range, but I feel
I'm not exactly clear why just Henderson is being steamed.
Well, people do like
that he catches passes.
People just like Henderson,
It was a bad pick to take him over Luther Burden if Luther Burden is a good wide receiver.
Yes, it is. I mean, Luther Burden, like just taking a running back taking an early down grinder running back in the 2nd round, anyways, is stupid. The Browns had a terrible draft, dude. The Browns just had a brutal draft.
Yeah, I mean, hey, they got an extra first next year, so
they did get an extra first next year, but it's like, and then they could have traded down again, and they didn't. This is just not good.
Mahomes is gone. I would have entertained a Lamar Mahomes team.
This feels insanely untrue that the Bears 100% wanted to take Henderson instead of Burden. Because
I think it is true. I think that they were 100% counting on him to be there because the Patriots taking Henderson is shocking. It is.
Yeah.
Like this is
it was shocking for sure.
It is shocking. It's like it's 100% a Mike Vrabel coded pick. Like if they had if Ben Johnson was their coach, they're taking Luther Burden. I would go as far as to say that for the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of crazy to just go in with like Diggs and then 3rd round rookie wide receiver after being so bad on, at pass catcher last year.
The reason why I think it doesn't make sense is that they didn't take another running back at all. So how much did they view it as a position of need? You know what I mean? But maybe they just loved Henderson that much. Maybe they just loved him.
If you look what happened too, though, is they traded down many times in the draft, and each time before them, a team took a running back. So it kind of seems like they were just, I like Aaron Jones still.
Yeah.
I mean,
anytime you can lock up the most boring running back imaginable.
Dude, no, he's an explosive guy. He's a spike week running back. Which we like, right? Like
the Browns data will always show the Browns as having very good drafts because they always take guys who are insanely productive college players. So data-based systems are always like Harold Fannin. That is just like their bit. And also draft systems love teams that take multiple quarterbacks. So taking Gabriel and Shedeur.
God, Najee Harris, bless this guy. Bless this guy.
I bet T-Bear loves the new Najee Harris price. I bet he's like, wow, they're just going to sit back and give me Najee Harris.
So the gritty. Yeah, I mean, Jordan Mason's is going to get his, but like betting on a good offense, betting on an explosive player.
Oh, we don't even get to do Jalen Warren.
Let's do Tony Pollard.
Do you want to do Pollard or Swift?
Pollard.
Tony Pollard, running back 2. Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, another AARB room.
I think Pollard and Swift is a close discussion, but like how you should play it right now is there's a real chance Swift makes it back to us in the 9th by ADP.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's possible. All right. So our team is now Puka, Bowers, Lamar, Rashee, Waddle, Olave, Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard. I mean, I think that is a nice little recovery.
Yeah, I mean, 2 running backs who, like, if this was a managed team, I would feel decent about my starting managed team.
Sure, start them every day. Yeah.
It's to start this whole lineup. Just it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna win a lot of weeks. Let's talk some eliminator strategy real quick while we wait here. Eliminator is head to head, so it's very interesting because it's median. It's stacking's not important, right? Like, are there any takes you have?
You do still like stacking in
You like
general.
it, but it's not like, if you had a home league and you had just Dak as your quarterback and no, like CeeDee Lamb, you'd feel okay.
So one of the things that I have always kind of said about stacking is that even in those formats, the 12-team home leagues and stuff, you still like it
I do.
because fantasy football is a game where people feel really confident in their ability to prognosticate. But like I always say this, like, well, how about this? Look forward in the eliminator. Most of your matchups each week are not going to be close. You're going to go look and you're going to be like, oh, I lost or won by 30 points, 40 points, or whatever. And the stacking helps you find more of those, particularly when you have 2 quarterbacks or whatever, or 3 quarterbacks even. You're going to have so many more weeks where the points are hitting your lineup at the right time. So I still like stacking quite a bit in the eliminator.
Yeah, like it's a trap to think that like, oh, I just want the guy who's going to go for 15 points. You still want guys who have mega
ceiling.
Yeah, you want guys who can just win you the matchup. You want guys to give you 30 to 40 and just you win because you have that guy. What's your thoughts on 2 quarterback, 3 like 3 quarterbacks, 2-3 tight ends? What's your preference?
I think a lot of the time you want to be forgoing that 8th wide receiver and doing a 3rd quarterback or 3rd tight end. Almost most of the time.
That seems fair. So 7 wideouts. I still have a preference for 2 QB, or if I go expensive tight end, 2 tight end.
Yeah.
Obviously, running backs hit your flex a little bit more on half-point sites, so that's
well, and just the way the contest is structured, I believe it's 0.7% of the teams are left at week 7. Like you do want to be more week 1 brained with your running backs, like Najee, some of these Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, some of these older guys are Javonte Williams. A lot of these guys I think are more viable in that format. All right, we're up. We've got 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end.
I like Charbonnet.
I like Charbonnet. This is kind of the last of a tier of wide receiver. I think I
would also do Mims or Pittman, but I think we do Charbonnet here and wide receiver next pick.
Okay. I do like I like Pittman for this team because our second quarterback doesn't matter as much, and we could do Richardson as our second quarterback.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Chuba, Mixon. These are eliminator ass picks for sure.
Yeah, and most people won't draft any eliminators until we know the schedule for bye week reasons. I'm still drafting some now. It's just really fun, the head-to-head aspect of it. It feels so attainable. Obviously, it's not.
It does. It feels you're just like, dude. I just have to win a coin flip, bro.
I used to be one guy,
Yeah.
But like, obviously, it's not. It's like go home and try to flip a coin and make it turn up heads 15 times in a row, 17 times in a row. Yeah, that's what you're trying to do. Right. Yeah, let's go Bateman here.
Bateman. Yeah. Oh, I actually have Kirk ahead of Bateman, which is funny.
Bateman's in the same tier as Mims and everyone. I don't understand why Mims is getting cheaper. He wasn't a loser of the draft.
Dude, Pat Bryant's going to put him to the woodshed, dude. RJ Harvey, dude. RJ Harvey's going to run all those routes out of the backfield despite the fact that he had 30 receptions total in college.
Pat Bryant and Nikola Tesla are both perfectly fine last round picks to mix in. Both, though, don't really impact how I feel about the other skill players currently.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah. The 35 behind the line of scrimmage Mims touches have to go elsewhere. That was what Sacrilegious was telling me that yesterday, and I just disagree. I mean, he might be right, but I just disagree with him.
This game just kind of fits best ball. And I've not been a Mims guy in the past, but like he ended the year strong.
He's a good player.
Is Zach Moss dead? No, he's probably the RB2.
Yeah. I don't know. If Zach Moss is your RB2, you probably don't have an RB2.
Zach Moss, if healthy, is a perfectly fine RB2. Does a lot of things perfectly fine.
No, I would say Zach Moss is bad. He's like a bad success rate, bad yards per carry, no explosion. He's just like fine.
I do love how all the Chase Brown faders got punished. Chase Brown should be a 2-3 turn pick. And honestly, if I knew nothing and he was just in the second round, I would be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. He's similar to Achane, right? He's not as explosive, but like no one else is going to touch the ball.
He's just, the thing about Chase Brown is he's like, we wanted to make him like an Achane and he was good last year, but he wasn't great. You know, he was good.
Here's what I think. I don't think the Bengals are good enough that they are like they trust Joe Burrow trusts Chase Brown, right? So like they might want to not have him touch the ball 96% of the time at running back, but I think when shit hits the fan and they're staring down at another season of maybe not making the playoffs unless they win games, he's going to be on the field.
Yeah. Yeah. I completely agree. I like Chase Brown, but like there's like some people, and keep in mind, you know, I was like the biggest Chase Brown guy in the world last year. Some people who think he's like this really good running back, and I'm like, you know, I think he's good.
Very athletic, catches the ball. He's not, he's not like the best pure runner of the football, but I don't really care about that.
No.
Plays for an offense I want every piece of. Someone asked, why is Rashid Shaheed falling? Because of quarterback confidence.
Yeah, the Saints just have nothing at quarterback. Really Carr, Rattler, Shuck.
Here's what I'm talking about, Kyle Williams. Like, maybe you guys are all right. Like, I liked some of the tape I saw of Kyle Williams. I don't like that he's a third round, top of the third, if you're being generous, which is the truth, right? So you could call him back end of the second. That's not too far from Jack Beck. But him going within a couple picks of like Keon, Shaheed, ahead of Hollywood, Mims.
What do you want to do here?
Like wish casting. I think one of the like likely or Kincaid.
Oh, actually, likely for this team. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. I think we should take Beck with our next pick, though.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
After seeing him project for 1,500 yards on Mike Clay's projections.
He's one of the few guys, that projection right there is one of the few times I've ever checked a projection for a rookie that people are really excited about and being like, oh, actually, this is like justifiable.
Honestly, I was shocked. I was a little bit shocked. I know he got the draft capital. It was tail end of the second, right? So we see these guys bust all the time.
Second round pick is a second round. But yeah, first round picks bust. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and it's a weak wide receiver class. Is the thing.
And now we're set up that we kind of control the Geno Smith dynamic. We have two.
Yeah, and he is a great second quarterback.
Great second quarterback.
He's a winner of the draft just because, as far as like confidence in taking him, just because Darnold's a loser. Like I've seen Darnold go undrafted, which is wrong, but I've seen it.
Just the tricky thing with Darnold is he has that injury guarantee.
His bench risk.
Yeah. Like pretty significant bench risk. What would have to happen with news and training camp updates to get you to have Hunter Renfrow as a click?
Well, did you see that he had some like
autoimmune disorder?
Yeah. Someone asked me if I was going to be drafting him. No, like I already feel bad about the Leggett and Thielens of the world. So
yeah,
What's the good old Mike Clay Carolina projection? Coker goes to 0 is my assumption.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, I don't have Coker as draftable in my stuff. We have got more receptions for Thielen than Tet, which I would totally buy. 58, 692, and 4 for Leggett. 25, 86, and 2 for Coker. Like total scraps for Moore and Jimmy Horn. Another tight end to
I
project
see more catches for Tet. 116 versus 100.
You know, it's just you gotta bake in some risk there.
No, that's what his projections say though.
More receptions for Thielen, more targets for Tet because higher average depth of target.
Okay. I was looking at that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like he's very flat here. Seems generous for Leggett, but the Brooks having any projection seems crazy to me.
Yeah, and Brooks is not playing this year.
The Rico projection seems low.
Yeah. The Seahawks like actively tried to get worse this year, like totally bailed on.
Yeah, they're trying to build for the future.
They're like trying to be bad. So I would be surprised if the Seahawks were quote unquote too good for Darnold to be benched.
Ray Davis, solid winner of the draft. Bills had.
Oh yeah, and I mean slight winner for James Cook. Like I thought there was a chance that they were just like, oh sure, we'll take Trevor Etienne or whatever.
Yeah, like Cook should be going ahead of Hampton in drafts, but I could see the hype getting out of control for Hampton.
No, I think I'd take Hampton.
Okay, and then you're going to be like, why does Najee have 750 yards? Which, to be fair, like Ray Davis,
I thought you hated Najee, Liam. You can't play it both ways.
I do hate Najee, but
can't have it both ways, brother.
What I've been saying is I think Hampton, from a ceiling perspective, landed in a great place. Like if he's just the guy, that's wheels up.
Yeah, they are going to be annoying though. All right, do you want to just take Geno here?
I think we do Garendo first. That is like a guy I don't want to pass on. Okay. I understand that Jordan James landed there, but
no, Jordan James sucks.
Yeah, I mean Garendo, literally the most athletic running back in the NFL.
Is that true? I'm not going to fact check you on that. I'll let you have
that. Raz, I think he's like a 9, a 10-0 almost.
He's not 10, but he's really high. Hampton's rushing line is lower than Laporte's receiving line. Sure.
That is funny. Let's pull up the Chargers are like. I mean, what would you guess for Trey Harris?
Low.
What would you guess for Quentin Johnston? All right, now we can do Geno. My God, Trevor made it to 156.
Sometimes you just get in those rooms. Yeah. All right, let's go. The Chargers. These are gonna be so screwy. Yeah. So he's got Hampton for 953 and 9. That's actually a bullish ass projection on Hampton. That is like 1,200 scrimmage yards and 11 touchdowns. He has Najee for 130 rushes, 17 receptions.
604 for Mike Williams?
Yeah, so he's got
that's Jack Beck, but undrafted, my friend.
Yeah. I would assume that's interesting that he has such a strong projection. I guess because he's giving very low tight end volume. He's giving 361 targets to the receivers and only 111 to the tight end. And that even might be the way it works out.
No, how I read this is he's trying to communicate he has no fucking clue what's happening between Trey, Mike, and Quentin.
Yeah, none.
So he and you know that's fair. Neither do I.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Right, like Mike Williams could be cut, or he could go for 1,008. Like that is all in the range.
So someone just asked about the Chiefs projections. I'll give you.
And then let's go Bills because I'm interested what the Cook one is.
I'll just give you a little hint, brother. Just look over in the games played tab. He is assuming that Rashee Rice is either injured or actually missing 6 games from suspension.
Hands up, I've never looked at them before, so I think they're an interesting data point, but I don't,
Yeah, it's just an interesting data point. It's just something to, yeah. You say you want to look at the Bills?
Yeah, oh yeah. I thought we were staying the Chiefs for a second, but let's
Bills. Yeah, he's got Shakir
11 touchdowns,
13 touchdowns.
fair, right? 11 rushing, yeah, but
He's got him as running back 12. So
very strong projection on Keon.
Mike Clay is bullish. Pretty bullish on Shakir, pretty bullish on Keon too.
Super bullish on Keon. So here's the biggest thing. He has Josh Allen for 10 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
The question is, like, my intuition is, if the Bills are a really good team, go back to the draft. We might be close to the clock. That doesn't update when you, yeah. If the Bills are a really good team and they can afford Josh not to take these goal line touchdowns, I think they're going to try to dish them out to Cook, Ray, and the pass catchers, and they might be a lot better. Like, if their defense is actually really good with all these picks. I do, the Bills GM went on this like local rink-a-dink radio show in Buffalo.
Oh yeah, and was tilting hard.
It is fair where it's like, this isn't fantasy football, and the Bills are one of the few teams in the let's make our picks here. Shipley,
sure.
Jalen Wright.
I'm an Ollie Gordon guy. Ready to be wrong about that, but
I'm still right.
230 pounds. Just feels like he's like so much the natural complement to A-Chain.
Yeah, maybe. But
also, Jalen Wright played last year and was just terrible.
He played in one game.
No, he played the whole season. He kept getting benched for Jeff Wilson Jr.
All right, Justin, it wasn't meant as an insult to the Bills.
Yeah, how about
every local station is rink-a-dink.
ADP chasing host Mike Shope, a WGR employee.
No shots intended. I would call my channel a rink-a-dink, below rink-a-dink.
He has tried to address wide receivers. He's just bad at it.
No, like, I personally would have traded up for Brian Thomas last year when he was falling a little bit in the draft. I have wanted the Bills to get an elite wide receiver. Let's click wide receiver, right?
It's pretty freaking thin.
Mike Wilson, Slayton, Yoshivas.
Is Mike Williams here?
Yeah, he's here. Let's do it.
Is he? Sure.
He doesn't go drafted.
We just learned from the projections that Mike Williams is a good pick.
Better than Jack.
Better than Jack Bash, people are saying.
Better than Kyle Williams. So anyways,
Pete only trades up. It's for a third round, an interior defender.
So I've always wanted the Bills to build this elite pass catching core. And, it would be nice if life was easier on Josh Allen. At the same time, you look at the Bills last year, they barely lost to the Chiefs, and Mac Hollins was their number one pass catcher that day, right? So it's like the Bills are uniquely positioned where they have one of the only quarterbacks in the NFL where you can kind of just put dudes out there. And it's very possible that Keon or Kincaid, a year from now, we're talking about them like, wow, these guys are one of these guys is really good. Like, those investments might pay off. But, you look at how the Eagles beat the Chiefs. Basically, teams are trying to do one of two things right now. Teams are either trying to replicate the Eagles strategy of just load up on D linemen and co and overwhelm quarterbacks, especially with D tackle. Or you look at teams like the Bucs, the Bears, give your quarterback all the pass catchers they can ask for and just beat them up on offense. The Bills, they did average 30 points a game. I don't think they scored below 30 for 8 or 10 weeks running. You can do that with Josh. Try to build an elite defense. I get the vision.
I probably would have just taken a wide receiver. If I was Brandon Beane, I probably would have just said, probably just need one of these guys in here.
Khair Elam getting just targeted relentlessly against the Chiefs sticks out in my memory.
Also fair. Yeah. But at the end of the day, they also had a chance to beat the Chiefs and threw a screen pass to Amari Cooper. So
yeah,
you could see it both ways. You could see it both ways.
And dude, Mac Hollins, that catch at the end of the half, Mac Hollins had over your corner, that was insane.
No,
that was Mac Hollins, right? The other, Keon, before he got hurt,
he was playing okay.
He was around 550 yards and 4 touchdowns. It was pretty good. He had some good games. And it's just kind of hard to get back on the wagon.
I mean, the
like
Chiefs are
playoff
probably going to
team.
be bad this year, so it probably doesn't matter anyways. Like the Chiefs are probably going to be like a 10-win team this year. So it's like a really good. The Bills might not even have to play them, right? Then they might get beat by the Bengals or the Chargers or something.
Oh, in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I think it's really interesting that the Raiders, Chargers, and Broncos all said, you know how we're going to beat Mahomes? We're going to have a good running back. We're going to keep the ball away from him. Very logical,
You
right?
probably want them to have the ball now. Probably now you'd be like, please, Pat, take it. Throw an awful interception.
I mean, I think it's a really kind of smart. Like, we're not going to outpass Mahomes. Let's just try to possess the ball.
I just can't believe. I actually just like an annoying thing is like I can't believe that they had this running game that they had last year where Kareem Hunt had 0 rushes over 20 yards and they just did not. Like, you want to talk about a team that actually should address the running back position. You want to talk about Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry and Josh Jacobs having these impacts. Like, the running back is the last piece to the puzzle. The Chiefs should probably just have a good running back. Like, if Andy Reid and Matt Nagy are going to be this stubborn about running the ball, like maybe just like get a running back.
There's still some, like ETN could be shipped out later in the summer or at the trade deadline. There's a lot of moving parts still.
Yes.
Steelers are at 2 wins. They ship out Jaylen Warren.
I would take Jaylen Warren for sure.
All right, what's this team need? Do we need running back, wide receiver?
Probably one of each. Yeah. This team worked out well. We can actually
do we need any wide receivers? Show me the wide receiver room. Puka, Rice, Waddle,
Rashi. We have Waddle and Olave, so we have guys made of absolute glass.
I like Dobbins. He could be a huge.
No, we don't need we don't need an old guy on this team.
We don't need guys who are going to score 0 points, like 6th round pick Devin Neal.
All right,
I would be J.K. Dobbins.
Sure, we'll take J.K. Dobbins.
So my understanding of what happened with Dobbins is that it's strictly comp pick related. I don't think it should impact him to be signed. It just puts a date on him that he has to sign with the team before July 27th, or else he doesn't get to choose his team and the Chargers retain his rights. So really, it's just like what did we see? We saw the Ravens do this with Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson got signed. So it's a data point that J.K. Dobbins is going to be signed, which makes all the sense in the world, right? And when J.K. Dobbins gets signed, he's going up in price.
Yeah.
And he could go way up in price. Like, what happens to J.K. Dobbins if he lands with the Cowboys?
He's like probably a 11.5 point per game scorer. Do you want to
take what round is he on?
Do you want to take a 7th running back or an 8th wide receiver?
I kind of think another running back.
All right, who do you want?
I like Lloyd.
Do you like Taj Brooks?
I like Mostert too. With the Geno stack.
All right, we'll take Marshawn Lloyd. Mostert, buddy. Mostert was dead on the vine last year.
I know, but he's defensible for.
Yeah, Liam is part of being Best Ball Mania 2 champion. He does have someone coming in to do some nice little yard work.
We're doing some housework. Sorry, guys. All right, Davis, recap the squad for us.
All right. This team is elite quarterback and elite tight end, Lamar Jackson and Geno Smith as the quarterbacks, Aaron Jones, Tony Pollard, Zach Charbonnet, Isaac Guerrero, Will Shipley, J.K. Dobbins, and Marshawn Lloyd in the running back room. So a 7 running back team. Puka Nacua, Rashee Rice, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, Rashad Bateman, Jack Besh, Mike Williams as the wide receivers, and a Brock Bowers, Isaiah Likely tight end room. So we are hoping when the schedule comes out that the Raiders and the Ravens do not have the same bye week, because we'll be a little tilted.
Mike Williams, wide receiver 7 on the team, not the comfiest thing in the world, but
No,
I don't know.
probably,
Like Mike,
probably terrible, actually. But it might not be. But it might not be.
well, and honestly, if our 4 wide receivers are like hits, you don't need too much depth behind them.
No, that is such a funny thing. We do these positional allocations. Like, oh, dude, you got to get 8 wide receivers. It's like, guess what, dude? If Puka, Rashi, Waddle, and Olave are all just really good and stay healthy, how often are we even using? Like, let's say, in this scenario, Beck is a hit, like ends up scoring like 120 points or whatever. How often are we even using his points? Like, relatively infrequently,
Yeah, that's why you kind of just want to like load up on guys who can give you a week. Slayton, Mike Williams, whatever. Should we call it there, Davis?
Yeah, I have to leave anyways. And I actually have a video premiere set this up. So I'm going to start doing some videos on the channel just because they're way better for growth. Like no one is like, you know what I really want to do today? I really want to watch someone I don't know talk about their best ball teams for 4 hours, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, streams are for people who already know who you are, and videos, are to
Yeah, I should do more
discover you.
videos for my channel too. All right, Davis, make sure to name this. Make sure to name this so you can ship me that mill once we win in
Yes,
January.
hold on. Let me do it now before I forget. You have to refresh the page. I'm naming all my teams this year so I can actually keep track of them.
I name them as I number them, and then I add the date too.
Liam, elite QB plus elite tight end.
I name mine like 7, 429, and then sometimes I add some info.
For sure. Okay, boys. There we go. Everyone, thank you very much for listening. Please like the video on my channel, like the video on Liam's channel. If you are not subscribed to the Chess Liam YouTube channel, go ahead and go on over and do that.
And I'll have a ranking update later today for my folks.
There you go. Beatbestball.com. You get that there. I've got ranking stuff updated over on patreon.com/DavisMattic. See ya later, everybody.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated.